Hello and welcome to the Let It Ride podcast coming at you on Super Bowl week. We got some props for you. We're going to give out picks on the side and the total. Joining me this week, you know him as the three-time winner of the Frozen Balls Challenge, Kyle Clifton. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great, and coming out of retirement here, just fresh out of an unofficial, unannounced retirement. So thanks for having me on. But I mean, if I was going to come back for one podcast, it'd be this one because I've had some success for on the NFL props. So
Yeah, and the season win totals, but like I said, three-time winner of the Frozen Balls Challenge. I know I still owe you a polar bear plunge. As soon as some of the bodies of water around here don't have ice on top of them, I will be
yeah,
making that video. I know I was the loser, even though I was high on the Patriots, who find themselves in the Super Bowl. Somehow I was high
no,
on the Patriots and still managed to lose this year.
that's fair. As long as it's not just a quick dip of like your leg into a pool like Jordan did, I think we can wait a little bit. So
Yeah, I got my koi pond in the backyard. I think that's going
yeah.
to be my destination. I just got to wait for some of the ice to come off. But we are going to dive right in to Super Bowl 60. I guess we'll save our picks for the side and the total on the end because I give those out every week. That's not what makes the game special. What makes it special was all the props that are available for the Super Bowl. Start me out with your best one, best Super Bowl prop.
All right, so I'm sure all your fans were like, okay, we're going to listen to this. We're going to have an awesome prop to start. And they're like, okay, we're definitely going to start with the longest field goal made by what team? And it's going to be Seattle with Jason Myers at minus 110. He's hit more than two times as many as Morales has hit all year in 50-yard field goals. Morales has only 11 games, or he has 11 games with under 36 as his like high for the game, while Myers has all but four games with a longer field goal than that. And Seattle's kicked 33 or more, or 33% more field goals than New England has. I just think this one shouldn't be even, so this one easily stood out to me.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Definitely the stronger leg on Myers. And I think Seattle's going to be ahead a lot in this game, too, so maybe more prone to settling for field goals, whereas New
Mhm.
England might be trying to push it, going for it on more fourth down. So definitely like that one. My first prop is a little boring as well. I'm going under 39 and a half first downs. This is available on DraftKings, 38 and a half on FanDuel. But if you go over to DraftKings, you can get this up to 39 and a half. The Patriots and Seahawks allow 17 first downs per game. Add that up, that's 34. In the Patriots' three playoff games, there's been 23, 29, and 36 first downs. And I like this play a lot better than the full game under just because I am going to be on the under. Spoiler alert on that. But I've been burned by this. In the Texans game against the Patriots, I was on the under, and we had a bunch of turnovers. So you could have turnovers, you could have splash plays in a defensive game. Whereas this prop, under 39 and a half first downs, you're not getting burned by an 80-yard touchdown. You're not getting burned by a kick return or an interception return for a touchdown. So points can come in a defensive game. Uh, but first downs generally don't. So I like this a lot better than the full game under 39 and a half total first downs.
I like that one a lot too because like it's not something you're going to bet on like another like random game in like the middle of the season. So they kind of set it at, like an average, and if you have like a good lean on the game, I like that you can easily figure out which way you like to go on that one.
Yeah,
Um,
and Seattle's first game went way under that, but their
mhm,
game against the Rams was at 50 first downs. But this, that Rams offense and that Rams
yeah.
defense is kind of lends itself to that. So I don't see that repeating itself.
And you mentioned like different FanDuel and DraftKings. All mine will be on DraftKings, just to
Okay.
let people know. My next one is Hunter Henry, 40 plus yards at minus 110. I'm giving Henry a break for the last two games. The weather stunk in both games, and even against Stroud, where like yes, they scored 26 points, they basically just weren't trying to mess anything up because they knew Stroud was going to mess everything up. So I'm giving him a break for that. So if you get rid of those last two games, he's topped this number in three straight and five of the last seven before. And in games where Henry gets four or more targets, he has went over this total 9 out of 12 times. I'm kind of giving away in these first two who I think is going to win. If Hunter Henry's going to get a lot of catches and Myers is going to get a lot of field goals, I'm kind of thinking Patriots are going to come from behind. Kind of giving away at the end here what I'm thinking the game will go with. But I mean, the Seattle corners are big and physical. Diggs, Booty, and Douglas are all small wide receivers. So I think, honestly, I think May is going to have to rely on his big tight end here. So I think Hunter Henry, the 40 plus yards, is another really good bet here.
And that was one that I looked at as well. Both defenses not very good at covering tight ends. And since you're giving out a tight end prop, I guess I'm going to go on the other side. I had Hunter Henry written down as well. I also have AJ Barner, and I've got props on him across the board. I've got anytime touchdown plus 225, first touchdown plus 1,200, over 25 and a half yards. Both defenses give up a ton of yards. Two tight ends. I mean, and it's a big game. The tight end is a security blanket. He's the closest guy. Uh, to the quarterback when he drops back to pass. So definitely like both tight ends in this game. So I'm going to go ride with you on that one. On the other side, AJ Barner over 25.5. Maybe parlay them together, get you a nice juicy number there.
I love that, like in the Super Bowl, they kind of are lenient with like the same game parlays too. Usually the stuff that you're not allowed, like they'll give you a little like underjuiced if it's on the same team, but they kind of like let you be a little more lenient because they know they're going to get all those prop bets in. So
yeah, and I actually have one. So yeah, they don't like you correlating things together, but I actually have one. My next one's going to be reverse correlated, but I'll let you go here, then I'll get to that one.
All right. So this one, it depends on how like risky you want to be. I have both of them. It's Darnold longest completion over 35.5 yards at -110. Or if you want to have a little more juice, it's over 40 plus at +142. If you want some more value, I don't think Seattle will be conservative at all. I mean, New England and Seattle are really good against the run, so I think they're going to have to pass, and he's completing over 70% of his passes in his last 4 games. So we got hot Darnold here right now. For the 35.5 number, he's achieved that 12 out of 17 games. For the 40 plus, it's 10 out of 17 games this season. And the Patriots have given up a pass longer this in each of their last 2 games, and that's against 2 really inferior opponents. I mean, we had Jared Stidham, and then we had a really bad CJ Stroud. So I really like this one here. And it's a giant step up for the Patriots in their last games. If you get rid of those 2 quarterbacks, and then you think about Herbert with his bad offensive line, the 3 people they played before that was Ewers, Cook, and Huntley. So I'm really not worried about like the New England defense being like superstars against Darnold. It's kind of like a huge jump up in class. So I'm going to go with the over 35.5. And what I've been doing with the 40 plus is working it into some of like the parlays that I'm doing, because you get a little more juice and boosts it up a little bit farther. So that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, and you have a number of guys who can make that happen for Darnold too. Rashid Shaheed, of course, JSN deep. You have a number of guys that can make that happen for him too. A lot of weapons for him on that Seattle offense. So I like that play as well. And speaking of the quarterbacks that the Patriots have played, it lends itself to a lot of my props here. I think that Seattle is the much better team in this game, and I think that the Patriots are going to be playing from behind. That lends me to my next prop. Drake May to pass for 200 yards and have 25 plus rushing yards. That's -110. And that's really just this Seattle run D. You spoke to it. This Seattle run D is excellent. They are not going to allow Ramondre Stevenson to get going on the ground. I think Drake May is going to have to do a lot of this on his own. I think he's going to be doing it both ways, on the ground and through the air. So parlays these 2 together. May 200 plus passing yards. Like I said, I think they're going to be playing from behind. Throw a few scrambles in there, get them over 25 rushing yards. That pays out at -110.
I like it. It's going to go right in my next one. But just in case anybody watching that and wonder what the hell my camera was doing, my cat just completely took over it. But anyway, I got my first like long shot here, and it's Drake May to actually have the most rushing yards in the game at +500. So let me go into this a little bit. Both teams are top 4. I just mentioned that in the league and against the run. And I think it's going to be really hard for Walker. Yes, he's going to probably get like 15 to 20 carries, but we have seen him struggle against really good defenses, even without Charbonnet. So far in the last 4 games, Seattle has shut down Kyron, CMC twice, and Rico Dowdle, all under 40 yards rushing in their last 4 games. Again, Walker's going to get his fair share, but May has 7 games this year with 80 or more rushes, including 2 in this postseason already. And in those games, he's averaging 45 rush yards a game. So yes, it's a long shot. That's why it's +500. But honestly, I don't see Stevenson and who am I missing? Their second guy,
Henderson.
I don't see them like combining to even like get more than like 10 to 12 rushes each. And so I really think if May can break 1, I think they're gonna have to rely on him, especially on 3rd downs, to get out of the pocket and like get past that good defense. I know it's +500 it's a little bit of a long stretch, but I mean, if Walker gets shut down, I really think this is a good shot.
So I did a Spaces with Jordan, your former pod mate. Jordan was supposed to join us. He is. I swear, every time I try to get both of you together, it seems like one of you goes down. But we did a Spaces before the conference championship games, and he gave out Matthew Stafford over 10 rushing yards, like kind of thinking around like the same thing. And he went over it in the first half. So if Matthew Stafford, the statue, is running the ball against Seattle, what is Drake May going to do? So I like that play. Like you said, a little bit of a long shot, and it kind of lends itself to the prop that I had with him getting over 25 rushing yards. So I definitely think we could see that happen. I do have one that flies in the face of it, though, and it is Travion Henderson, 60-plus rushing yards. That's plus 920, so that's my first long shot. And this is really just the Patriots, again, playing from behind, maybe getting frustrated, running their head into the wall with Stevenson up the middle, needing to get Henderson out on the edge. All he has to do is break one. He's got a bunch of carries over 60 yards this year. We saw him break two against the Bills. He could get this in one carry. He is a home run hitter. So if you're going to play him over his regular total, you might as well play the escalators here. And that's what I'm doing here. Henderson to have 60+ yards. That's plus 920.
All right. So I only have 2 long shots and then others to go. Do you want to give another one of yours, or you want me to go?
So I have, let's see, I have 1, 2, I have 3 more. So I can go again here. Sam Darnold over 2.5 rush attempts. That's plus 100. And this is just going back to my thinking that Seattle is going to win this game. Kneel downs count as rush attempts. So you could have 0 Sam Darnold rush attempts the entire game. All it takes is 3 kneel downs at the end, and you're cashing this. And you can also parlay this, so a reverse correlated parlay. So if you were to play Sam Darnold over 2.5 rushing attempts, over 5.5 rushing yards, you're looking at about plus 198. If you play over 2.5 rush attempts, under 5.5 yards, that pays out at plus 415. So that's what we're going to do here. Play a little bit of a reverse correlated parlay, but it's just counting on the kneel downs at the end of the game. You could get a 7-yard carry from Darnold. That's his only carry of the game. He kneeled down twice to end the game. You're cashing this parlay. The Super Bowl is ending. It's a blowout. Seattle wins, I don't know, 31-10, and everyone's, oh, it's the kneel down. No one's paying attention. Who's celebrating? Anybody that tails this bet with Sam Darnold getting 2 kneel downs at the end of the game. So Sam Darnold over 2.5 rushing attempts, and if you want to parlay that with his under rushing yards.
And what was the odds on that over 2.5?
Over 2.5 is plus 102.
So he's done that in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's done that in what, 7 of his last 8 games. That's incredible.
And they're generally winning. It's like they forgot that kneel downs count as rush attempts.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get on. I was trying to find one for his like rushing attempts because I do feel like he'll have to at least attempt before the kneel downs at least a couple of times. So I'm definitely gonna join you on that one.
Okay.
All right. So this is the biggest long shot I have, but stick with me here. JSN and Diggs to record 5+ receiving yards each in every quarter at plus 1,500. Okay. So it's just 5 yards per quarter for both of them. So they have to achieve that in every quarter. So it's just 5 yards. So that's where I start. It's just a unit play here, but I think it's fun. It's one of those fun ones that you only do for the Super Bowl. But in a year where Diggs has specifically been a possession wide receiver with a low pass volume team, he's still averaging 5 catches a game. He has the best catch percentage in the league. I don't think it's crazy he can get 5 yards if he's only targeted once a quarter. So, and if JSN is the one that loses you this bet, it just wasn't meant to be. Like, if he's the one that somehow doesn't get 5 yards in every quarter, then you weren't meant to win this one. So it's really just watching Diggs, and can he get that first and second quarter 5 yards? And then you could be wrong, especially if they're down going into the third.
Yeah, the one thing that you have to worry about with this is the 8-minute drive that eats up an entire quarter, and then the other team goes 3 and out, and you know that you only get one chance, one drive in a quarter.
True.
But it is a fun bet to watch the whole game, and plus 1,500. Why not? You throw a cup of coffee on it, and you sit back, and maybe you have a big payday at the end. I also have a Diggs prop. I have him over 45 yards. That's just the basic minus 110. And Diggs, you mentioned all of his numbers, and you're thinking, why wasn't he more of a factor this year? It's because he was on a snap count. He doesn't play the entire game. I think that they're going to kind of take the leash off. It is the Super Bowl. So I think you could play some escalators on this if you want to play him upwards of 70, 80, 90 yards. But I'm just taking the basic number here, set at 45. So Stephon Diggs, 45+ receiving yards, minus 110.
And it could be his last game with the Patriots. Like, they've redid his contract, so he's really not, like, if they cut him or they don't re-sign him even longer, it could be his last game, and they really don't hurt their salary cap next year either. So
yeah. So that was all of your props?
No, I still have one more.
Oh, you have one more? Okay.
I'm going to call my shot on this one just because I do it every year. I've won 2 out of the last 4 years in this. I'm calling my shot on a square. There's no rhyme or reason behind this, but it is going to be like anytime score, like the end of the quarter. It is the last digit for New England will be 6. Seattle will be 4 at plus 1,300. So that's I'm calling my shot. There's not a whole lot of analysis behind that, but it's 6, 16, 26. Like, you got at least options there. It could happen in any quarter. And then you just need Seattle to get ahead, get up by like 14-6, something like that. So I'm going to go with New England's last digit being a 6, Seattle's last digit being a 4 at any time during the end of a quarter.
Yeah, and a lot of people might look at that and be like, "Why would you bet that?" It's like people play the Super Bowl square. The Super Bowl square has been around long before sports books, and
Hmm.
half the time you get your numbers, you're like, "Oh, great, I got 8 and 9. What am I going to
Yeah.
do with this?" With this, you could pick your numbers. Like, I want 3 and 7. I want six
Yeah.
and four. I want some
Hmm.
good numbers. So you can go in and pick your numbers. You don't have to just throw up your $100 and just hope you get a good square. So,
Uh-huh.
hey, pick your numbers. I definitely like that, especially for the Super Bowl. It's probably a bet that I would only make in the Super Bowl, but for
Exactly.
this
Yeah.
week, definitely love it. I have two more props to get to. They are
Okay.
both defensive props. The first one is it's two guys for Seattle. Leonard Williams to have more over 0.25 sacks, so he can get a combination sack, and this will
Yeah.
cash. That's at plus 136. He has 7 sacks on the season. He has one in the playoffs as well. And if you watch Drake May, he's been taking sacks all throughout the playoffs, despite the Patriots winning games. But a lot of the sacks that he takes are near the line of scrimmage. He's stepping up in the pocket. He's trying to, I guess, negate the loss on these sacks. He takes a lot of 1 to 2 yard sacks, so a lot of sacks with him stepping up into the pocket, into the defensive tackles, which is Leonard Williams. And you might as well throw Byron Murphy in there as well, the other defensive tackle. He also has 7 sacks on the season. He's at plus 171 for this same prop. And you can cash it on the same play if they get a combination sack. In the first quarter, you could cash this with ease, and you're sitting back, just cashing your money early.
I love that. I love that.
And then my last one, this is my biggest long shot, and this is purely a math play. A defensive player to win MVP that's plus 1,300. This is just a pure math thing. There's been 59 Super Bowls. 10 times we've seen a defensive MVP that's about 16%. Plus 1,300 implies about a 7% implied probability. So just playing the math here, taking some good odds. Defensive player to win Super Bowl MVP plus 1,300, especially with this really good Seattle defense and a good defense on the other side for the Patriots as well. Marcus Jones, I think, counts as a defensive player. So if he were to get a kick return touchdown, somehow the Patriots win this game, he gets Super Bowl MVP, you're cashing this bet as well. So defensive player, Super Bowl MVP plus 1,300. That is my last prop.
I like that. Before we move on to the sides and the pick, can I give the same game parlay real quick?
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is for plus 900. It's going to correlate to everything I've done already, but if you like the vibe that I was given or the route I was going, it is Darnold over 231 pass yards, Hunter Henry over 40 receiving yards, Myers 2+ field goals, and May 40+ rushing yards. If you put it in DraftKings right now, it's plus 900. If you have a boost that they're doing every single day, it's plus it's like plus 30%. It gets you plus 1,100 or 1,170. So I put $10 on it, it wins you from $170 basically. So that's my same game parlay I give out.
Nothing wrong with that. Building a game script for the Super Bowl too. If you have a number of things you think are going to happen, definitely, like it's the last football game of the year. We got to get some bets down.
Yep.
So the side and the total, I already said that I like the under in this game. Like my under 39.5 first downs a little more, just because, like I said, you could see some turnovers. Drake May's been prone to them. Sam Darnold hasn't been prone to them lately, but historically we know he is. So turnovers could completely destroy the under in this game. It's set at 45.5, but I'm taking the under here. These are two really good defenses, I think. Two conservative coaches as well. This is not, Dan Campbell. This is not Sean McVay. These are not coaches who love to go for it on fourth down. These coaches will pump the ball. They will play field position. Pretty conservative coaches. So I like the under 45.5 here.
Yep. So I always hate doing over-unders. So I'll leave you to be the expert on this one. If I had to lean away, I would go with the under as well. But I'm just going to be watching just for entertainment purposes because both of these teams don't mean a lot to me as I'm a Packer fan. So these don't really mean a lot. If I had to lean, though, I would go with the under as well.
Okay, and we're picking the game, and I hate to say it just because I do have family from New England, some Patriots fans in my life. This game reminds me a lot of last year, where you're looking at the matchup and you're like, okay, where are the advantages? And it just like last year, every advantage was Eagles. And you're like, oh, well, the Chiefs have the better quarterback. Same thing this year. Every advantage is Seahawks. Maybe the Patriots have the better quarterback. They don't have Patrick Mahomes. He couldn't stand up to this last year. This Seattle defense, I think, is incredibly underrated. They might not be as good as that Eagles defense was last year, but they are still a very good defense, probably the best in the NFL this season. I'm taking the Seahawks minus 4.5. I think they win this game. I'll call the final score 27-16 Seattle.
Okay. So I completely agree. I think it's pretty obvious from all of my picks. I think Seattle is going to win as well. And even if you want to break it down to like the most basic thing of like what wins in the NFL, just look at teams that have beat the good quarterbacks. The Seahawks have beat Lawrence, Jaden Daniels, Stafford twice, Purdy twice. the Patriots, really the only quarterback that they've really beaten is Allen, and that's only 1 out of 2 times. You could say Burrow, Baker, but they both didn't make the playoffs. They weren't as stars as they usually are. I just think the Seahawks defense is amazing, and I don't think there's a huge gap between May and Darnold, if there is a gap either. So I just think Seattle's more talented. They've proven more. I'm gonna lay the 4.5, and it's the money line is going to be in so many different parlays that I make as well. So
Yeah, and this has been on my mind pretty much the entire playoffs. That I've been watching the AFC playoffs, watching the NFC playoffs. There's just so many flawed teams in the AFC. The path that the Patriots took here, playing one of the easiest schedules in the history of the NFL, and then just kind of playing a backup quarterback in the AFC Championship game, playing two teams with some of the worst offensive lines in the league the 2 weeks before that. The Seahawks, like you said, they're just a much more proven team. They are the better team. Whatever metric you want to look at, whether it's DVOA or whatever advanced stat you want to look at, screams that Seattle is the best team in the league. I think they take care of business, and I can't believe I'm saying this. If you told me this at the beginning of the year, I'd have called you insane. I think we're going to see Sam Darnold lifting the Super Bowl trophy.
well, what's crazy is if we look back at any year and you said the only time this team has lost since October 6th was by 2 points to the MVP on the road, you'd be like, well, that team must be amazing. And nobody seems like they're saying that about Seattle, but that's just the truth. That their last loss was to LA in November, and that was by 2 to Stafford in LA. And then before that, it was all the way back in October 5th was their last loss. They've just been dominant. It's Seattle. It's out there on the West Coast, and not a whole lot of buzz about them. So I do think they've been covered, I guess. I don't know about underrated, uncovered the whole season, and I just think we'll see it pretty much on Sunday.
I think if they have, I've been late to the party. I was all over the Rams last week. I lost a ton of money on that game. I thought the Rams were going to win that game, but I really thought that game was the Super Bowl. And I just haven't been able to stomach, backing Sam Darnold, but he's just time and time again just stepped up and proven. Now, I thought you spoke to his last loss was against the Rams. That win against the Rams, I couldn't get over how lucky that win was, and I feel like a lot of people really couldn't get over how lucky that win was. I'm like, oh, this Seattle offense looks broken, and for a couple of weeks down the stretch, they did look broken. They struggled in a game against the Panthers late. They had some struggles down the stretch, but it's an 18-week season now. It's a long season. You're going to have those stretches for most of the season. Like you said, they've been the best team in the league, and I think we are on the right side of this one. Hoping I'm not necessarily hoping I'm wrong, because I think it's going to be a blowout. I hope I'm wrong that it's going to be a blowout, because I really would like to see a good final game to the NFL season.
Yep. Any leans on what the Gatorade shower will be?
Yeah, I haven't looked at the odds. I guess if there's like a lime green or blue or whatever color Seattle wears, I guess that would be my lean.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. As you were talking about that, I was like, I haven't even thought about the color yet, but it's got to be one of those.
Did the Eagles do green last year?
They did. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe that's something that I'll look into. That might be But my thing is, I don't know, like how do they know which cooler to grab? Like they probably have a water cooler over there. They got to have different flavors. It's just a matter of which cooler these two big offensive linemen are going to grab to go dump it on the coach here.
You got to get into the ear of like the manager back there that's filling them up and making sure this is the heaviest one. You got to take this.
So I actually have there are certain markets that allow you to bet on halftime props, like what will be the first song, what will be this, what will be that. And I actually have connections, being a stagehand for as long as I have. I actually have a good friend of mine who's flying out to work the Super Bowl halftime show, and I might be a degenerate, but I have not been able to bring myself to text him like, "Hey man, send me the set list. Let me get an easy winner here." I don't want the FBI or anybody knocking on my door. So.
I was going to say, you definitely don't want to bring it up here then. So.
I said I'm not doing that. I'm not breaking the law, so we're clear there.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Well, Kyle, this has been fun. Seems like we're in lockstep with how we think the game is going to go. Any final thoughts before we sign off?
No, I just want to say again, thank you so much for having me on. I haven't done a podcast since we did the Frozen Balls Challenge. That's the last one I did. I really appreciate you having me on. If you end up doing anything on the morning of the Super Bowl, hit me up, and I'd love to join you again.
Yeah, maybe we can get some spaces in. I think I have a Wizards game that I'll be working, but I can definitely just lock the door to the office and make sure nobody comes in, and definitely get some spaces in. And I'll be doing some off-season stuff, maybe some master stuff. I don't know how much golf betting you do, but
I love some golf. So.
Okay, yeah, so maybe we'll have to get a Masters episode in or something. Well, Kyle, again, thank you for joining me. Great talking to you as always, and I'll see you when I see you, man.
I appreciate you.